Hello, CQ Asia. I want to first just congratulate you for how far you have come on this journey of taking such a deep dive into your soul as you prepare to companion others in the world. So, first of all, congratulations. I want to say that. Here you are at the culminating class, Critical Life Stages, and it's going to be just a beautiful tool, and I'll talk about that in a minute. My name is Valerie Dodge Reyna, and if I have not met you already, I have been involved with CenterQuest since the beginning, where I helped Will launch the program, and has it morphed into such a beautiful offering that nobody could have ever guessed what God would lead us to at CQ, because here we are in Asia. Although I wish I was in Asia with you. I'm always wishing that I can visit maybe someday. So back to the stages. This course is less of a practicing. It's not really about any kind of practicing. However, it gives a very good framework as to why, in the words of Paul, why we do what we don't want to do and don't do what we want to do. That might be one side of it, but also just to help us see where we're at on our spiritual journey. And there's a couple tidbits I want to share with you before we start, because these things were so helpful for me. I wish somebody would have pointed them out for me in the beginning. One is that these stages of the spirit on the spiritual journey, they are not linear. So it's not less than or greater than, and so like it's really good to use the symbol of an infant and an elderly person. That one is not more valuable than the other. One is just more advanced on their stage of life. That's like the human journey, right? But we're talking about the spiritual journey, and so there is a continuum, if you will, on that. And so the author does a great job of trying to explain that continuum, but it's not a science, so we have to learn how to dance with this information. And it really just gives us a bit of perspective so that it can inform us to ask better questions to our directees and that of ourselves. This is a great tool for doing a grand examine, because you can look back and sort of have this kind of sense of where we're at and where we want to be. And another thing I want to share is that our egos would love to tell us that we're in this stage or that stage, and that's not the point of this class. It's more just like an art. Like I said, it's not a science. It's not a diagnostic tool or a tool that measures anything. It just gives us some perspective. But it's an important perspective. So my prayer for you is to see it like that, not as a diagnostic tool. I also think that this whole framework can help us. And in fact, I call this work the work of compassion, because once you can see where certain people or people groups or cultures or even institutions like church are in these stages, it can help us have compassion, because anytime we're in one given stage, we can't see or understand people that are down the road and further deeper stages beyond us. And so it might cause people to judge those people that are further in. I don't like to say further out, but further in, because it is more like a spiral symbol and not like a linear, measuring symbol. Like the further we are on the journey, the deeper it gets, right? But we could see, if we're not aware of this thing, we could see why it's easy to judge people that are relating to God in different ways than we are, both in the earlier stages and in the later stages. And you'll learn more about that later. But I also want to share a sweet little story about that Jim Finley shares when he became a novice in the Abbey of Gethsemane which was for cloistered monks, and Thomas Merton was his spiritual director. And Thomas Merton started relaying some of this critical life stage teaching to him, and right away Jim said, "Oh, I know what I am," and he pegged himself as something, like really mature. And Thomas Merton said, "You know what? It is none of your," he used a swear word, "business where you are. That's only God's business. This is just a framework to help us." And it helps us to ask great questions to our directees. It informs us as to what questions we need to ask based on where they're at. So anyway, I am so thrilled to be here. I can't wait to see you in the course, and feel free to reach out if you need to. And yeah, let's continue on this journey together. Bye-bye.